The bolt and the spring-loaded securing bracket that are supplied with this mounting stand make it possible to attach the stand between the studs of a hollow interior drywall surface. Do not drill into any wall without first determining if there are plumbing pipes or electrical wiring within the wall. Serious damage or injury may result if this precaution is not taken. Okay, so here we have the B-wing installation. There's going to be 3 of these posts. The posts will have marks on these. This one has no mark. Marks correspond with where they go on the B-wing according to this piece, which we'll put on later. So they'll be marked with nothing, 1 dash, or 2 dashes. So this is going to be the engine for no dashes. So we're going to angle it towards the tail of the B-wing and then slide it up so it hooks behind the engine. The next piece would be the piece with 1 dash on the corner. It's going to hook behind the engine in the same manner. You're going to come from this angle, facing the tail. The third post has 2 dashes on it. Also notice that I'm trying to keep my finger over the caddies because sometimes they're a little loose. And it's very similar. I'm going to lean it this way. I'm going to come down and I'm going to slide it up. Now your 4 posts are in. Notice I like to keep my thumb on the nut caddies because sometimes they're a little loose and sometimes they might fall out, so you don't want them falling out. So we have our 3 posts in. And we're going to feed this spacer, and it's going to be a little tight. This is what's going to hold everything together. And we're going to push it down into place, which I'm not sure I have it all the way down. One of the nut caddies slid out, so it was preventing me from pushing it in. So it's in. Now we have 3 screws that go into, so I'm just going to install the 3 screws to hold this bracket. Once this is in place and screwed in, these 3 posts will be nice and tight against the engines, which is what we need to get this on the wall. All right, so before we finish, I want to talk about mounting to the wall. This is going to be extremely hard to tighten down because the B-wing is going to be here. Your screw's not going to be available to you. So what you want to do is you want to slot this onto the wall, and you want to adjust how tight you want it. You can't get it too tight because you won't be able to get this back off, but you want it to be snug enough that you can turn your B-wing from side to side. So this is a little tight, a little bit too tight. It's just enough to slide it off the wall. So our screw should be adjusted where we need it. All right, so we are ready for the wall bracket now. It simply slips over the top of those brackets, as long as the nut caddies are nice and lined up. And then we have 3 more screws. Now, before we put it on the wall, we have one final piece, which is this final strut. There's a hole on one side. You want to make sure that that hole is facing down to the tail of the ship, lining up with that hole. This piece is here to just make sure that the B-wing doesn't move forward when it's vertical. And I have one final screw. All right, so we have our bracket. There's our slot. We're going to line it up and slot it over that washer. Now, at this point, we should be able to turn this thing to just about any angle in between horizontal and vertical, but you cannot turn it with the screws up because you will get to the point where your slot will fall out. And we didn't have anything connected to that top engine, so it's kind of awkward the way I'm standing, but so we can turn the engine and get our wings out. Put it in whatever position we like.